Hello, everybody. This is John Schumacher with Evening Toastmasters. Just wanted to shoot this quick screencast to go through a few features of the Facebook group that Kevin and I were so inclined to kind of revive a little bit here. As you see, I've done a few updates to the group and done some posts and things like that to kind of engage a little bit and try to see if we can bring back a few of the older members. I've been working on them a little bit. I've also added a few new people. The purpose of this today is simply to go over a few things. One, we're going to go through three main things. Why do Facebook? I'm going to talk just a little bit about why we should do this and why I feel it's the best strategy for building our group, the best PR campaign. Also, how to share with others. How do you get people to the group to actually build the following and build that list of people who can eventually get to come to our Monday night meetings. And the last one will be how to post, like how to do it. There's a few strategies that I'll go over here, and I'll try to be as pithy, I guess, as possible with this. So why do Facebook? I mean, Facebook is just such an easy way to reach out to people, and it's just a time thing. There's so many. It's very time consuming to call friends and meet people in coffee shops or at grocery stores and exchange information and play that game. I mean, Facebook, for some of you who do use it, know that it's just a better way to communicate and reach people just a whole lot quicker. So it's just leverage is what it is. I mean, we're using technology to really leverage our friends and our presence, and it's just a quicker, easier way to do that. So and I'll go through and show you why in just a second. So let's talk about sharing with others. So if you have a Facebook account like I have here, we all have a certain number of friends on Facebook. And so let me go to my primary Facebook page, and I'm just going to go up to my home page here, and you can see I have 722 friends. Now, a lot of these are not local, but some of them are. So what I did the other day was just go through and write on a sheet of paper, which friends live fairly close to our club, and then otherwise, it wouldn't do us a whole lot of good to reach out to people in other countries or in other areas. So what I did is, you can see I'm on my Facebook page here. You can get to this if you don't know this by these tabs up here. Your name will be sort of your wall, they call it, which is all of your profile and all your information and any post that you've either had your name tagged in or have posted yourself. Your homepage is sort of your timeline. Up in these tabs here, you'll see your notifications when somebody messages you, or not messages you, but someone posts on something that you've posted on or whatever. Your friend requests are here, but this is the main one I'm going to show you here in a second, and this is the instant messenger function in Facebook. So as far as inviting friends, if you have a Facebook page, if you have maybe 100, 200 friends, 500 friends, just go down here to your friends list and just do what I did the other night. Is you just go down here and you just look for friends that are local, and then just write them down. Like, I have many friends who are not. Most of mine are not, but I was able to find, I would say maybe 30 friends or so that I was able to write down on a sheet of paper and connect with them. So let's see here. Let's go down to Kevin's page. Here's Kevin. Whoop, going back and forth there. So Kevin probably won't mind. He's got 329 friends. So if you find a friend that you have locally here, all you have to do is reach out to them and go up to this message button up here. And that's the instant messenger for Facebook. So again, make a list of people, then go back through that list and then just send little messages to. And this is why this is so much better than meeting in person or talking on the phone, is you can send them a quick message fast. So, like you can see, Kevin and I have been talking back and forth a little bit about this project, and this is all I would have to do is say, hi, hey, Kevin. And if you haven't talked to that person in a while, just say hi. Just say, hey, what have you been up to? It's been a while. And don't be like, posting like a copied message on, hey, we're meeting Monday night at Toastmasters. Are you interested? Use a little bit of, I guess, slowness to your approach. It depends on how close you are to the person. There's some people on my friends list that I haven't talked to in a long time. So those people, you're going to want to just say, hey, what's up? It's been a while. What are you up to? that kind of thing. Or if it's somebody you know really well that you just haven't connected with, you can actually say, hey, I'm doing Toastmasters. I'd love to share with you, what we're doing and what time. And you can, so be aggressive as much as you have a relationship and a recent contact with that person. So, but that's how you really invite people, as far as like gathering up some people who might be interested. Is you just send them little messages like that, and then you just hit the enter button and it'll send them a message, and you can just go to the next friend then on your list, on your friends list here. I'll go back to my friends list, and you're just going back down, and I always write these down so I know who I've messaged, and I'll write message sent on that or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's really, that's all there is to it really, is just to kind of comb your friends list and click on the person. You can see how many friends they have and everything, and then just send them a message, something, along the lines of, hey, what, if you're fairly close to the person, hey, what are you doing Monday or whatever. Now, the goal isn't always to get people directly to the meeting. One of the powerful things about, I'm going to go back to our page now, is this group here is a list of interested people. So we don't just want people who have joined our Toastmaster. I mean, we want them in there as well to be active and interact, and I'll talk about that in a second. But we want those people to, we want to build a list of people within this group that are interested. And so you don't necessarily have to be, hey, what are you doing Monday, and hit them with that. Just say, hey, guys, we have a fun Facebook group that we've started, and we're talking all about speaking and leadership and networking. Are you open? Are you open? I always just like to say that. Are you open to being a part of the group, or are you open to having me add you to the group? We're going to be sharing some wonderful content, and I'm sure you'll learn a lot. Gauge the person. It's an art. It's not a science as far as interacting with different people. It all depends on your relationship with them. But the goal isn't necessarily to sell them on the Monday. I mean, you don't have to go there. It depends on your relationship. But if it's someone that you haven't talked to in a while, you might want to just go slowly with it and just say, hey, I've got a cool group that we're starting on Facebook, especially if there's somebody who tends to be on Facebook. Just add them to our group, and then what we're going to be doing, and I'll be talking about this in just a second, is going through and telling you how to engage those people. Because this is really like if you're if you have an internet business, it's just like a list, like your email list. Although I feel that Facebook groups are a more engaging and more soft way to really engage people. So that's the power of this. It's a list of people who are interested, not only members but people who are interested. So let me show you how to actually add a person to the group. I just added somebody a minute ago, my friend Kevin down here, and I'll talk about how to add people and how to post in just a minute. But I just had another friend that I hadn't talked to in probably 4 months, and his name's Kavi, and I'm sure he won't mind. So how you add people to the group is right over here. So if you send a message to your friend and they're interested, if they said, yeah, I'd like to be added to the group, you can just simply, if you're friends on Facebook, you can just simply type in their name like that, and their name will automatically postulate in that field there. And so you just simply click on their name, and you add them to the group, like so. So you can see I just added a new member. The new count went up. We now have 24 members in this group. So we got to get that a whole lot bigger. But anyway, that is how you add a friend. But you have to be friends on Facebook. You both have to be engaged. Otherwise, their name won't come up and you can't add them. So if it's a new person that you haven't been friends with on Facebook, I would say, hey, you on Facebook? Cool. Yeah, let me connect with you. And you can either you can email it to you if you want. If you have a smartphone, you can simply just do it on the spot. You can search for people up here, and it'll say like Bill so and so. People with the name Bill. You can say people with the name Bill in Santa Cruz, and try to find people that way. It's not always the most efficient way, but it can be done. So whatever it takes to engage the person and find them on Facebook. Once you guys are friends, then you can add them to the group. So that's how you add people. So you start out, go through your friends list, find people who are fairly close to our club, in the Santa Cruz area, and then reach out to them through this instant messenger function up here. You just simply send them a message. Once they've agreed to say, hey, I'd love to be a part of your Facebook group, it sounds like a lot of fun, you simply come and add them to the group right here again. So let's go through, I hope that was helpful there. Let's go through how to post. And we're going to talk about 3 main types of post. First is an introduction, which I'm going to do here in a second. The second type is engagement, like how to engage the group that's existing. And the third will be announcements, like announcing our Monday meeting or any announcements that we might have to perk interest and also to soft sell the people who are not members yet in the group. So let's talk about the first one real quick, introductions. So this is an important one because in Facebook, in a Facebook group, you want to build a culture. It's just like any group of people offline. You need to build a culture of people in this community, and you want a culture of positivity and engagement at every turn. So that's why it's important to introduce people and to get a lot of people involved in the discussions, in the welcoming of new members. It takes a little bit of time, but if you, like for me, like I try not to look at Facebook too much, but if you could just bracket off, say 20 minutes every other day or so to kind of just look at it and like all the comments and say hi to the new members, it's really gonna be amazing, as far as building our membership. I mean, this is the answer to building new membership. So I just added my friend Kavi. So what I would like to do is you always want to introduce the person. You can say hi guys, like hi guys, or something hi, or you can say something like, I did down here, happy Sunday, my fellow Toastmasters, please welcome, blah 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 blah. So I can say, hey guys, please welcome. Let's do that. Please welcome, and then you want to tag the person. Now this is a little tricky. It can be, but all you have to do is hit the @ sign. And I'm going to say, and my friend Kavi will postulate right here. So this is a little tricky. You don't necessarily have to do this. What this does is it lets that person know that you just introduced them. Because when you tag a person like that, it highlights their name, and it's automatically going to go, that message is automatically going to go in their notifications up here, but also on their wall, which is their main kind of existence on Facebook. So they're like, oh, okay, someone just tagged me in a post. Let me go see what happened. And that's the power of tagging, and I'll talk about that a little more in just a second. So please welcome, Kavi Williams to this, fun-packed or amazing group of leaders and speakers. Something along those lines. Make it fun, make it engaging, explanation point. And you could say a little bit about your friend. Don't say too much. I spoke with, Kavi today, and he showed an interest today, and he showed a strong interest in learning more about what we are up to. Something like that. You could probably get a little more sexy with the copy in this, but the point is just to have fun and involve people. And that's how we'll really build a following here. And then I usually say something like, let me step out of the way, or something. Let me step out of the way and have Kavi share a bit about himself. So you want to get out of the way. You don't want to be like, well, and he does this and that and this and that. You actually want to engage the new person too, to kind of entice that engagement. So that's how you would kind of write a welcome post. Now here's one thing that's really important is when you come down here, you can see my mouse is over here. There's a little plus. There's a little person with a plus by it. And this is how you add additional tags to your post. Now this is really important because it actually lets everybody I tag in here know that there was a new person added. That's how we're all going to know if a new person's been added, so we can say, hi, what's up, man? Welcome to our group. We're stoked to have you here and whatnot. So this is really important if you really want to build engagement. And how you can do this, the best way to do it is simply to start at Q on your dashboard, hit the Q button, no names come up, hit the W button. You can see that people's names who are currently members will come up. So I just go across the top of the keyboard, across back and forth until you hit all of the letters. And you're going to add people who are already members to this group. So my friend Kevin, I just added a little while ago. Kavi, we're not going to add because we already tagged him up here. Don't get too worried about that, but we're going to go through there. So that was W. I'm hitting E. You can see our friend Dave Impey. I don't know that he's on Facebook too much, but we'll go ahead and tag him. And you simply click on the name. That's all you have to do is click on the name. So we have a few old members here I've been trying to engage. So I'll probably just tag them in the post as well and see if they kind of perk up to wanting to get more involved in the group. Now, tagging etiquette. You don't want to tag the heck out of everybody. You don't want to, if I'm trying these guys for now because they've been in the group. I haven't had a whole lot of a response yet, but I've only been doing this the last day or so. Probably the last day. So I'm going to keep tagging these guys for a little bit, but if I notice that they're not responding at all, I'll stop tagging them. One thing you don't want to do too much is tag people to the point where they're annoyed by, you constantly posting on their wall, because every person in this that I'm tagging now, this message up here is going to go on their wall, and it's going to alert them and anybody who looks at their wall that there's a message there. So we don't want to annoy people too much. So you've got to have a little bit of etiquette when it comes to tagging. Don't just go crazy with every post. I mean, I don't tag people like this in every post, but I usually tag people in welcome posts like this, like introductions, and important announcements. Other than that, I wouldn't go crazy tagging people because they're going to get annoyed and they're going to ask to leave the group. We don't want to overwhelm them by having everybody in the group tag everybody all the time, but you get a feel for that. Just in the end, you'll kind of, after a few months of doing this, or less than that even, we're going to get a feel for who wants to be tagged, who's participating in the conversation, and then you're going to tag those people. You're not going to tag the heck out of somebody who hasn't spoke in the group for a month. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep tagging these people, and I'm just hitting the R button now. Looks like Diane's right there. We're going to tag her. We're going to tag this guy, her. I'm going to the T button now. There's a whole bunch of members that are coming up on T. So you just simply hit the letter on the keyboard, and it brings up people's names. I'm hitting T. I'm just hitting T. Those were all T. A whole bunch of T's. No one's under Y. U, I, O, P. We got our good buddy Mark Perlick right there. We're going to tag him, so he's going to get the message about this. We're going to keep going. We're on S. And that's my friend Scott Stevenson I just added. He seems pretty interested. He'd like to come, not this week, but possibly next week. And we got a few others in here. I think old members you guys might know better than me. We're going to add our buddy Daniel Jadek. We're on F, G, let's see, H, J. So we're going to keep going. So you get the idea here. We're going to add Kevin too because he needs to know about this stuff. So you just keep going along the keyboard until you find names that of people you want to let them know about this. Now this is key. This is how you really build engagement and tag and let people know. You can only tag up to 20 people on a PC. I think you can tag. I think it's an unlimited amount on an iPad, but whatever. Don't worry about that. Just you can tag up to 20. So you want to make sure on your computer that you tag 20 people that that are fairly involved in the conversation who want to participate. Then you're going to hit post. So you want to check your spelling, make sure that. So I've tagged the guy that I introduced. I said a little blurb about him, and then I tagged a bunch of people in our this actual group here to let them know there's a new person. Then you hit post, and that's how you do an introduction email. And an introduction post is like that, right there. So I did the same thing earlier with my friend I added just before I got on this screencast here. So that's how you do an introduction. Let me know if you have any questions on that. As far as engagement now, we want to talk a little bit about engagement. So there's introductions, and then there's just, if you're in the group, and this would be something we could definitely do if there's a few of you that are interested in doing this with me, it would really help engage the whole group, is to maybe every other day or so, or whatever you can do for you, is to come in and do an engagement post. So you can see here earlier I've done some of these just to kind of fill some content in there. Since our niche is in speaking, leadership, I guess networking, professional development, those type of topics, we want to post material that's relevant to those topics. Now, things like body language, I added a little thing. This is actually a pretty informative talk, a little dry on body language on the presidential debates that we've had recently. That's a good way to engage. Toastmasters.org has some really nice videos on different topics that we can go to and simply post from there. I mean, they have some really nice things. YouTube videos are really good for engagement that are relevant to our topic. And images. Images is really important. So I did a little thing here. Speaker tip number 1. The audience does not relate to the speaker. When the speaker first talks about success after success after success, the audience members think of themselves, well, of course these strategies work for him. He's special. These strategies will never work for me. And you talk a little bit about a story, and then you post a picture. If you really want to engage people, you should always post a picture if you can. Now, you can post whatever on here, but people will respond much better to pictures and videos. So we want to think about that. Now, how do you post a picture or a video? So what I'm going to do here is you want to open up another browser. But this is how you go right here to actually add a picture or video. So if you want to talk, if you don't have a picture with you right now, you can simply go to Google here and come up to here and open up images. Taking its time here. And simply type in something like, you could do like any kind of thing like public speaking. And you can see like cool little things come up, little funny videos. You want to make them fun and engaging for people. Definitely want to post funny videos. See, this is the one that I got the other day. And you simply take one of these, and post it. So you can take this one right here. And what you can do is right click on it and you simply save it to your computer. Save as, and you can save it as a document in your computer. So right-clicking on a PC works well. On a Mac, I'm not sure how that would work. I'm sure it's not that difficult to copy and save an image. So what you're going to do, you're going to come back here, and you're simply going to go to Add Video. Add photos, add video. So you want to upload right here. And you can come through. You can see I have several of these pictures that I've used for different posts and other things that I've had, websites and other things like that. So, you can simply grab something here. You can say, click on that, and you hit open. And what it'll do is it'll open up and download that picture into your post. And then what you do is you write something fun. You just write whatever, something engaging. Hey, here's a cool tip on speaking, or a cool tip on leadership, or a funny story, or whatever, just to keep people involved. As far as tagging people down here again, I don't always tag people on these. I think if you did that every time, you're going to drive people nuts. If it's really relevant to somebody, like you're like, hey, Kevin, what's up, man? Like, check this cool post out. Then you can tag one person or two people that are pretty relevant to that, but you don't want to over tag people. So that's how you do a, let's see if I can get rid of this now, a kind of an engagement post. It's funny stuff. Pictures are a must. A video is nice, not too long, but a short video telling a funny story or giving a piece of advice. Because let's face it, guys, I mean, people who are going to be on this list who are not members yet, they want to have fun. People always want to have fun, so we want to keep it positive and fun. They also want some information. People want what's called edutainment, education, entertainment, and that's what we want to provide in our group here. So I hope that makes sense. You can always come up to me and ask me any questions you might have if that's not completely clear. So let me try to finish up here. And this is getting a little long. Let's talk a little bit about announcements. So let me see if I can get rid of this picture now. I don't know that I've ever not gone through with this. Let's see here. Can I go back? Let's just leave the page then. And we'll go back to our group. Yeah, so the last one is is announcements. So something like our meeting like tomorrow. So let's see, what is our meeting topic? It is foreign nations. So that ought to be interesting. And let's see here. So, it's good to add a picture if we can. Like if I want to go over here, let's do this. Let me go to images and I'll type that word in. So this might be a good way to announce a post or something, or an engagement. Remember, pictures are key. So I simply went to Google Images. It's kind of a cool one there, I guess. We'll just go with that. So I'm going to save my image. I'll just say like foreign nations. Save that to my computer, and then I'm simply going to come back to here. I'm going to go to upload photo. I'm going to find my photo. I'm getting quite a few here, so find my picture, hit open. It's going to download that picture into my post, and I could say something, something engaging, something like, having a little brain fart here. Let's see, what could I say about foreign nations that would be fun? I could say something like super stoked for our next Toastmasters meeting this Monday at 6:30 p.m. Explanation point. The theme is going to be a fun one. And it's going to be, let's put little brackets in here. You want, when you post, by the way, when you're posting your copy, you want to have like spaces. You don't want to have a bunch of block text, and you don't want to have all in a row. You want dots. You want brackets. You want to segment your information so that it's easy to digest. A lot of people will post long posts, or you'll read blog posts that are just all block text, and I don't even like getting started on that. So when you write copy, when you write posts in Facebook, try to make it fun, try to make it engaging so that people want to read it. They don't feel intimidated by starting to read it. So anyway, something like that. And you can say something, ask a question at the end, like who's going, something like that. And then you could actually, with something like this, you'd probably want to tag some people, So I'd probably go in here and tag a few people, Daniel, just different people in our group. Again, go through and tag. I might not tag everybody in something like this. Again, tagging is sort of an art. Like, these people haven't been in our group for a while, but let's give it a shot. So it's a little bit of an art. Don't over tag. Like, I'm going through here and tagging a bunch of people. I probably will stop tagging a lot of these old members here before too long, once I realize that they're not going to be responding, so that they don't get upset with me, and just to kind of have a little etiquette there. So we're going to go through and do that. So let's see, Diane's going to go probably. I think she already talked to me. And Kevin probably can't. I think he said he couldn't go this week, possibly next week. So you get the idea here. I'm not going to post everybody. I'll post Kevin, and then we'll stop there. And that's how you would post. And you just hit post, and everybody's going to see that on their wall. All these people that I just tagged right there are going to see this post on their wall. Not only that, but their friends are going to see it too. So you can see the leverage here. I mean, this is just so much easier to engage people than the older methods of handing out cards or anything really. And so I hope this was helpful to you. I'm going to end this now, because I know it's been about half hour, and let's do this. I mean, I'm looking for maybe, say, like 3 or 4 other people who have an interest in giving some kind of engagement here and following this formula. Because I can tell you guys, I've been part of some groups where we've done this, and if you can actually get people to engage, it's magic, and it just grows like crazy. I mean, I'm in a group right now that I helped co-found, that we were using this model, and it's growing exponentially now. That's just, I mean, we don't have to do anything, and it's growing on its own, because other people have read the culture. They understand, okay, when you bring a new person in, you announce them, you tag some friends, not tons, but tag some friends, and everybody says hi. And so if you set that culture early in the group, then people will follow people. And so if we can create an engaging and positive environment where we have fun and we bring value to those people, this is going to help tremendously. So I hope this was clear and helpful to you all. I'm going to go ahead and end it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.